is up, man? I'm back with another video. So this video is gonna pretty much consist of a gold breakdown, covering up the last week of December and closing out the year. So I'm gonna just give a brief breakdown and what I was expecting last week up into this week and kind of what the market did compared to what my bias was. Now, for those that are wondering what my bias was for the previous 2 weeks, I did drop another video previously last week to start last week about my bias and what I was projecting. So if you guys like to watch that, feel free. But I'm going to just go ahead and give a little breakdown of what I am expecting closing out the month of December and the year 2024, and how I'm going to pretty much go into this new year and this new month. How I'm gonna go into this new year and new month with an idea of how I'm gonna be executing gold and how I'm gonna be working to getting funded again, and pretty much having consistent payouts from this point forward. Now, to the top right of my chart here, I do have all the accounts that I'm currently working on. I do have two top tier accounts that are on the phase 2, which are 1-step accounts, both of them. I do have a funding pips that is a 2-step, and then I do have 2 funded accounts with pick funded, both 200K accounts. So I'm gonna be working on not purchasing any more evaluation accounts and hopefully getting funded $500,000 and seeing what that could do for me, as I've been able to go on a beautiful run the past 3 months. So let's go ahead and hop into this breakdown, and then I'm gonna kind of go ahead and give a game plan of how I'm gonna manage these accounts and how I'm gonna work to getting funded in the next 2 months, January and February. So let's go ahead and hop right in, man. So as we can see here, based off of our monthly time frame for gold, we have an all-time high that was created here. So monthly all-time high. After we got this monthly all-time high in the month of November, we got a monthly higher low point. So we can see here, we have this push up, and then we have that immediate push down. So let's go ahead and do something a little bit more clear here. Boom. Boom. Right down, higher low. So let's go ahead and go to our daily time frame. So daily time frame, once we got this monthly higher low wick level at around 25.38, price then rallied, pushing up, forming a lower high based off our all-time high. Now, once we got that lower high point, price gave us an immediate push down, and then we got a higher low point around this area right in here at around 26.20 level, and then price pushed right back up, testing that lower high level, forming a high, and then came right back down. And then we're kind of testing this daily support, daily higher low, as a level of resistance. But there could be a possibility that we're just forming higher low points on the smaller time frames that can get us above this daily support to then project us to the 2700 levels. So based off daily, we know that we are kind of in like a range, but we are still having a lot of bullish strength in this area based off of this higher low point that we formed right in here. This is our key point right in here. This is the key point that we want to pay attention to. Because if we get below this level, then we could definitely see price push from this support all the way back down to like 25.40. And if we can maintain above the support, like I said, we could see 2700 get hit. So let's go from our daily time frame to our 1 hour time frame. Now, my projection for last week was sells if we were able to maintain below this little area here. So my projection was we could consolidate right in here. If we get below and then get a lower high at the bottom of this yellow box, then we could see a push down, and that's what price did. Price gave us that little minor lower high based off our hourly time frame right in here, and then we got that push down, but there wasn't enough bearish strength to continue pushing down. So what did price do? Price gave us a double bottom based off our hourly time frame, and then pushed right back up into that hourly lower high level at around 26.30. So if, let's say, we were tracking bearish structure and the strength of the sellers in the market, we really don't have a solid lower high level yet. As you guys can see here, price came up after testing our higher low from this daily higher low. We had a 1 hour higher low point here. Price then came down, testing this level, gave us 23.6% retracement with our 38.2. So it is a lower high level, but it isn't a lower high based off of our fib retracement. So it is a 23.6 lower high, but not a valid lower high because it didn't respect 38.2. It did touch it, but it didn't close or form candles along this level. So according to my bias and the way that I look at the market, this isn't a valid lower high. And then we go ahead and drag this down from our main point up here at 27.20. We have another 23.6, 23.6. Up until right in here. So we'll just go ahead and leave it right in here. So price wick, boom. What time was this at? This was 13, so 1 p.m. Okay, so this is what my projection would be like. For the most part, price has touched 38.2 right in here. So this is a key level. This is definitely an area of interest. Only because this is a daily support level, and it does seem like price is respecting this area as a resistance. So that can be a confluence for sales as long as we maintain below 26.30 and price continues to give us a bearish transition. So for the most part, we can go ahead and track the buyers in the market or buyer strength, and we can see that buyers are getting weaker as we've been able to hold 26.30 and this daily support as resistance, and we've been able to break below our trendline opportunity. So as we break below our trendline opportunity, we see here that we are beginning to get that bearish transition. Let's go ahead and do this. So as long as price can trade below 26.21 to 26.23 and maintain lower high points and give us candlestick confirmations that show that sellers are strong at this point in time in the market, then we could definitely see that push down. So going into the new week, going into the new month and the new year, I will be looking for sales if we maintain below 26.30. But if price gives us something like this where we can begin to trade up here and then form support along 26.30, then at this point I will be looking for buys to the upside. But until then, my bias is pretty much going to be sales, just because it looks like that's what the market is giving us at this point in time with this 38.2% retracement and us respecting this daily support as resistance right in here. And let's go ahead and delete this. And the reason for the sales as well is, let's say we go back to our monthly time frame. We see on our monthly time frame that we are going to be closing bearish, and we do have this wick to the upside. Let's go to our weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, you can see here that price has formed a level of resistance, and then we have our support. And then if you look right in here, price after forming the support found that resistance level again, which is a lower high point. And we haven't really found a solid level of support just because we don't have a bearish bullish close. All we have is bearish, bearish, doji, bearish, and then this week closed out as a doji as well. So we could definitely see sellers continue to push this market down, is what I'm going to be betting my odds on. So I will be looking for sales as long as we maintain below 26.30, and I hope that makes sense. I know it makes more sense to me just because this is kind of the way I look at the market. But for those that may not have a clear understanding of how I'm looking at the market and why I'm projecting gold to go bearish at this point in time and then bullish if we get above 26.30, feel free to comment in the comments. And if there's any way I could break this down in my next video for those, then I will definitely do that. But for the most part, that's going to be my breakdown for gold. Let's go ahead and jump into, let's go ahead and do GJ, and then I'm going to go ahead and run that game plan of how I'm gonna work on getting funded $500,000 and how I'm gonna try and maintain it. So for GJ, you can see here on GJ, we found a high point in the market right in here at 208. 208. After we found that high point, price came down and gave us a higher low point at around 180. Let's do 180, 250. 180, 250 is our higher low point. Let's go down to our daily time frame. Now we see off of our daily time frame, after forming that higher low point based off our monthly time frame at 180, 250, price gave a daily higher low point right in here. Well, we had our initial higher low point in the month of September, closing out that month, and then we retested that same level at the beginning of December, and price respected with a bullish engulfing, followed with a bullish transitions that has now got us all the way up to 198. So we have this daily higher low point. I'm gonna just draw some technicals here on how I would be tracking this structure after forming that higher low point at 180, 250. So we broke above right in here after getting that first initial higher low point. So first initial higher low, price rallied, then forming a lower high on this top side, but forming a higher high based off your daily time frame right after we got like this double bottom area, broke up, higher low, higher high, low, and now we're traveling back up to test this high or potentially get to a higher high based off this bullish transition that happened right in here around 191 to 193. So once price came back to 190 and tested this initial higher low point, we could go down to our 1 hour time frame and kind of track how we could have executed off buy moves. So let's even go to our 4 hour time frame. So our 4 hour time frame, our main lower high point is right in here and then right in there. So let's go ahead and draw our random lines to see at one point did price actually break our last lower high point, and when price actually decided to take off and give us that higher high and higher low structure to execute based off of our 4 hour and 1 hour time frame. So we see here 4 hour time frame, lower high point, lower low, price kind of tested just right in here, boom, double bottom, price came up, tested our lower high point, higher low, kind of just ranged in this area after actually finding support and holding. So we could pretty much just track structure all along throughout this area. So we got our higher low, price came up, tested, excuse me, excuse me, sorry about that. So as I was saying, we got that higher low point along our lower high, price broke up, getting a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now price is just slowly consolidating in like a upwards channel, not really giving any good sign for structure. Price is kind of just closing out the year. I feel like during this time price is a little slow, which is why I feel price is forming the way it is in here, which I wouldn't be executing off on just because I wouldn't want to sit in consolidation. But for the most part, you can see price higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So this is what I would be looking for right in here. We have our last 4 hour higher low level. So I would love to be executing buys off of this 196 area, and that's all I would be looking for GJ. Honestly, I wouldn't be looking for no sells up until we get back below this area. Only way I would maybe execute sells is, let's say we get something like this where we can track that bullish structure. Then I could potentially execute sells, just because we can see when price may actually give out with that bullish strength, and then sellers can start kicking in. Then at that point is when I would be looking for sells. If we get below this trendline opportunity, come back here, test what would be support as resistance, and then we get that sell opportunity back down to that 4-hour higher low level and potentially lower. So primary bias bullish, secondary bias sells only if we get something along these little technicals. But other than that, my main bias for GJ is buys. So hopefully that breakdown makes sense. Like I said, for gold, if GJ's breakdown doesn't make sense and you guys would like me to go into further explanation, feel free to comment, let me know, and I will go ahead and break that down for you. But to kind of game plan on how I'm gonna be executing on my funded accounts, this is what I'm gonna be pretty much looking for. So, oh, excuse me, let me actually delete this. Well, not delete, but I'm gonna go ahead and emphasize. So for my top tier phase 2 account, while these both accounts, they only have a 3% max daily drawdown and a 6% max drawdown on the account. So I will be only allowing myself 1 to 2 executions a day. I will only be looking to close about 1% to 1.5% daily. Anything more than that is maybe me being greedy just based off of my risk, because I won't be using a large risk for these accounts. I will be only allowing myself a 2 lot, maybe 2 positions, just depending on how well my execution point is, and if I'm very confident about the trade. So I'll only be allowing myself a 2 lot position, 1.5% max daily profit, 1 to 2 executions a day with a max risk of 1.5%. What else? 1.5%. I only have to make 10% on this as well. So let's just say I have 10 trading days out of the month that make me 1%. That's only 10 trading days out of 30 days. I could honestly get funded on both of these accounts before January is up, which will be beautiful, because I wouldn't have to really worry about going into the month of February still trying to get funded. So same thing for both accounts. This is pretty much my game plan. So I'm only going to allow myself 1 to 2 executions a day, a max risk of 1.5%, a max daily profit of 1.5% as well. I will only be executing a 2 lot position on these accounts, and I only need a 10% max profit to go on to the funded. And then from that point on, then I will go ahead and adjust these risk parameters that I'm setting on myself to take full advantage of the funded accounts. So top tier, this is how I'm going to be executing. As for funding pips, I will be setting pretty much the same thing. I will be tweaking it a little bit. So for this one, I have an 8% max profit. Since this account has a little bit more wiggle room with the daily risk, which is a 5% daily risk, 10% max risk on the account, I will be executing a 3 lot position and maybe 2 positions at a time depending on my execution point. Also depending on my confidence on the trade, and if I'm willing to even risk that much, depending on what kind of trade it is that I'm executing on. Now I will also only be allowing myself a 1.5%. So for the daily max daily profit, I will be allowing myself a 1 to 2% max daily profit and 1 to 2 executions a day with a max risk of maybe 2%. So we'll do 1.5%, or we'll do 2% max risk a day, just because I have a 5% max risk on the day. And sometimes I don't even use that full risk, just depending how the market is moving and if I think I have another opportunity to execute on and actually take advantage of that move. So this would be my risk parameters for my funding pips account. As for pick funded, I will be using 5 lots on this account. Now I know on this account I am in drawdown about 4%, which isn't too bad, just because I still can take advantage of the percentage that I have left to get me above that break even point to then get to that 8% max target. So five lot is what I'm gonna be executing on pick funded. I can't execute 2 positions on this account, so 5 lot will be my max lot size for every position that I execute. I will be allowing myself a 2% max daily risk, which in this account is a 4K risk. I will only be executing 2 positions a day if I have the right confirmations to get into that second position. But if my first position is a win, then I am done for the day. There's no reason for me to be trading after my first position is a dub, no matter the amount that I make. And then I have an 8% max profit before I get a payout on both accounts. Yeah, and I think that is pretty much it. Everything is pretty much self-explanatory. I know it makes more sense to me than someone who is kind of just seeing this and kind of viewing my notes to this. But hopefully this is something that you guys can implement into your guys' own trading, whether you guys are also taking evaluations accounts, whether you guys are already funded, whether you guys have a live account. You guys can implement this in your own way with different numbers that make sense to you, that doesn't allow you to overtrade, that doesn't allow you to over risk, and still allows you to see results in a timely manner, and gives you some satisfaction to continue pushing forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and note this down in my notebook as well, but I did want to break this down so I have a visual in one of my videos for myself, but also for you guys. So I'm gonna definitely rewatch this video just to keep myself accountable, and I don't tend to drift or want to break my rules, because I am trying to get funded once again after blowing my accounts within the past weeks. So this is going to be a good challenge to myself. It is going to be a good test to see if I could get funded again and if I could get consistent payouts. So hopefully this video helped, man, with the breakdown, with the note taking for my rules with my accounts. And hopefully you guys learned something today, man. So if you guys watched this full video, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. You guys have a blessed one. Let's close out the month of December strong and start 2025 the right way. Peace.